All right, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg here. I hope everyone has had a good weekend so far and a great Sunday afternoon. We did warm up just a little bit. We did get to the lower 60s at Camp Mabry and the airport this afternoon, but we do have a bit of a cool down that is on the way. So let's go ahead and let's break everything down for you. Nice little look outside of the UT Tower. And temperatures are currently in the low to mid 50s at both the airport as well as Camp Mabry. But as we take a look at our current temperatures area-wide, we do have some lower 50s out in Lago Vista. Still some mid 50s hanging around, but then some of the warmest spots are South Austin and Kyle checking in at 57 apiece. And as we zoom this out just a little bit, we do have some 40s already popping out over portions of Gillespie County. Fredericksburg checking in at 47. And as we look at our allergy count for this evening, we did have some pine show up on our sensor this afternoon. It's a little less than a grain per cubic meter, so in the low count, obviously. Cedar crept up a little bit from this morning, still in the low at 11 grains per cubic meter. Mold in the medium, but we had quite a bit of alternaria show up. Now, as we take a look at later tonight, getting down to the upper 30s, just that light northerly breeze making its way through. And through tomorrow, we do get to the mid 50s. Again, that northerly wind behind that Arctic front that did make its way through. It's a bit on the weaker end, but definitely a Arctic front nonetheless. We are going to warm up over the next few days, getting to the upper 60s for your Thursday and Friday, and then eventually your Saturday as well. But then this 6 to 10 day outlook does show much likely going to have below average temperatures for Martin Luther King Day week and the few days right after that as well. So it is going to be quite cold. Once again, maybe have another Arctic blast on the way for us. And not only that, look at the precipitation outlook. It shows a little bit of a chance of above average precipitation, which could mean maybe all rain, maybe something wintry like what this European model is saying. And we're going to move a little slowly through this because this is by the time we get to around 7 on your Martin Luther King Day evening. And it does show mostly all snow. And then as we head through midnight, heading into early Tuesday morning, much of central Texas seeing pretty much all snow at this point. And the temperature is going to play a very key role in all of this. And then by the time we get to around 6 a.m., looking mainly like all snow and continuing that with that coastal low. And it goes all the way past 4 o'clock on your Tuesday afternoon. Now let's take a look at the GFS model. This is the American model. And as you can probably notice, there's a bit of a shift in that model. That model previously showed all snow and a wintry mix. But with that GFS model, what likely happened is that it had the temperatures a little higher. And what ended up happening is it changed that snow to just your regular run-of-the-mill rain. And we expect that to move on out once again by the time we get to your end of the Tuesday evening, January the 21st. Now, I do want to mention this, and I want to mention this very, very closely. This is not a locked-in forecast by any stretch of the imagination, and the GFS's latest shift proved that. So, yes, we're confident that we could have some Arctic air for the start of your Martin Luther King Day week and the few days after that. What we're not quite confident in is whether or not we're going to have any wintry precipitation associated with it. We're also confident that we could have maybe a few light showers Wednesday and Friday because we have a couple of coastal lows that are going to be passing through portions of the Texas coast as we head through the next few days, as we do have that warm up. And we're also confident, of course, in that very strong Arctic cold front. It's a dry one by the time we get to late Saturday and early Sunday. So a lot to really hash out between now and then. But what I'm going to tell you on that is that you should definitely keep it here to the KVU Weather Impact Team. We're going to have all the latest on this over these next few days as everything starts to really come into focus and we can really get a good idea of whether we're going to be seeing rain or freezing rain or snow for your Martin Luther King Day and beyond for the next couple of days. So you need to really watch this with a lot of intently. You need to watch this, well, you need to watch this with a lot of intent. You need to watch this very confidently. And we are going to be forecasting throughout the course of this week, and we are going to be on top of this all week long because it's going to be very, very important for y'all to be prepared if we do, in fact, have to issue a weather impact alert day for Martin Luther King Day and maybe the Tuesday after that. I'm not going to lock anything in at this point, and I really want to hammer this point home, is that we are not locking anything in. The models are showing, one long-range model is showing one thing, while another long-range model is something totally different. The timing, though, is starting to come in a little more into focus. It's looking more like late Monday night, late next Monday night into early next Tuesday morning. But the type could be different. Like, for instance, that American model showed all rain, and it was light in nature, but the European model showed widespread all snow. So that's what we're talking about. All that we need to still hash out and really break down, because I saw some runs of the year for snowfall totals. I'm not going to post those online or talk about them here because, again, way too far out to even be thinking about totals, rather than whether or not we're going to get snow or not, or whether or not we're going to get all rain or not, or whether either will even happen. Again, 8 to 9 days out, still should not really be focusing on, how much of something we might get, but whether we get it at all, or if we get any precipitation, what type of it would it be? And in these situations, especially during this time of year, 1 degree could make all the difference. If we're looking at highs consistently below freezing on Tuesday, then we could be looking more so at either all snow, maybe even a wintry mix. But if we end up in, like, say, the mid, maybe even upper 30s, we could be looking at just a regular cold rain like what we saw this past Thursday. So key things that I want you to know is that we're going to be warming up by the time we get to your Thursday and Friday. We have that big Arctic cold front by the time we get to late Saturday into Sunday. Sunday's highs, as you can see, getting down to those upper 40s. And those are the two things we are confident in. What we're not confident in is whether or not we're going to get snow, whether we get regular rain from that particular system for early next week, or whether that system even materializes at all, because, again, 8 to 9 days out, a lot can materialize between now and then, including how strong a system might be, whether a system even forms or not, or whether it moves through our area or not. So there's so many variables that we still need to look through before we can nail anything down in terms of whether it be rain, snow, freezing rain, things of that nature. And once we nail everything down, we can then nail down how much of it we're going to get. So a lot to talk about between now and then, but by and large, not really much going on. And looks like we don't really have any questions. I know it's like 8 to 9 days out during the event, but if y'all have any extra questions, get at me, because definitely something we're going to really pay attention to. Now, timing-wise, it's way too early to answer any of your questions about what time will it hit so-and-so, because, again, there's still a lot to hash out between now and then. So let's see, you got any questions? Doesn't look like we have any on Facebook. Let's see what YouTube's got going on that regard in terms of questions. Let's see, it doesn't look like we got the ad first, but the comments are turned off anyway, so wouldn't really matter very much. Once I do pop up on YouTube, I'm looking at this on my phone with the volume down for obvious reasons, so that it doesn't have any of that little feedback through the actual stream or anything like that. So watching this closely, I do see that 11 of y'all have liked this video on YouTube. Thank you so much. And I know I'm also on KV Plus and KV.com. And definitely you're going to want to watch this very, very closely throughout the course of this upcoming week. Meteorologist Grace Thornton is going to be in tomorrow morning. She's going to have more details on any potential winter weather this far out, as well as a look at your weekday forecast. And then later on that evening, our chief meteorologist, Hunter Williams, he's going to be all over this as well. He's really been on top of the 6 to 10 day forecast temperatures of likely below average precipitation or temperatures, and it is definitely going to be cold. So Christopher is asking about an idea on what the temperatures could be. again, I'm thinking around some of the models have been all over the place with that. And really, right now, a lot of the models even have some lower 40s, such as the American model, that GFS model, has us in the 40s. But there are some other models that have us getting down to the upper 20s. So temperature-wise, we don't even have an idea about that. And that obviously is a critical factor because in this time of year, 1 or 2 degrees could make all the difference between rain, just a regular cold rain, a wintry mix, or even all snow. Now there's a magic number, I like to call it, and that's 32, and that's the freezing mark. I like to call it the magic number because a lot of kids may not understand freezing, melting point yet, so I just use the term magic number so that everybody can have a good understanding of what that number means. Below that magic number, you could have freezing rain, ice, sleet, snow, that kind of thing, but if you're warmer than that magic number, if your number is above that magic number in terms of temperature, then we're just going to get regular rain. Kathy Anderson, good point. Obviously, a week from tomorrow would be MLK Day, and that could limit some road impacts because a lot of people are probably going to be off the roads anyway. But we're going to have to see about Tuesday as well to see if that system, if the European model does verify. But again, that model could shift as well, like the GFS did earlier, based on what the temperatures decide to do with that particular model data. So that's something we are watching for that. D Villarreal says, hopefully we have decent weather. For this week, yes. But for next week, that's what we're trying to nail down and hammer down here. Let's see, any more questions? Doesn't look like we have any more questions, so just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Again, we're going to continue to watch this for you throughout the course of the evening, and I'll be on starting NKView News at 10 with all the latest as we get ready for next week and the warming trend that is on the way. We had a pretty pleasant day today. We got to the lower 60s, both Camp Mabry and the airport, but we expect to only get to the mid 50s by the time we get to Monday. So something we're going to continue to watch and really pay attention to over these next few weeks. Again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg. We're going to have all the latest on this coming up tonight at 10 on KView, as well as right here on KView Plus and on KView.com on that live stream.